Today I fucked up by telling my boyfriend where to ship a package. My birthday is in about a week and my boyfriend has been in the process of buying me some birthday gifts. My boyfriend, when discussing what to get me for my birthday, said he wanted to get me a nice vibrator in addition to a few other things. When he was going to order, he asked if he thought it was okay for him to ship it to our new apartment. We recently moved in together to the basement of a house in the suburbs with lots of children in the neighborhood. Our landlords live above us. Due to the apartment setup, our packages are usually either dropped in our mailbox or left on our landlord's porch. We did some fairly extensive research on how discreet the packaging was, and ended up giving the go-ahead for him to mail them the birthday gifts to our apartment rather than his parents' home. Fast forward to yesterday, while on a date I see my boyfriend's drawer drop. Lo and behold, a text from the landlord. "Hey, our son saw your package and thought it was ours and opened it. We left it on your porch." Our landlords are quite religious and young enough to be absolutely sure what the vibrator was. We spent the entire our drive home worrying about how far the son opened the package, and whether he had played with it or not. When we got home, we immediately discovered the package ripped open just enough to get a long, skinny box out. Our worst fears were confirmed when we saw dirty handprints all over the box. I opened it slowly, and my boyfriend snatched it out of my hands and told me to go to the other room. Well, turns out it wasn't the vibrator. We wish it was. It was an Apple Watch, now covered in dirt and scratches. Turning the dial felt like grinding pepper. Luckily our landlords agreed to replace it, but needless to say, all packages will be delivered elsewhere now. TLDR told boyfriend he could ship birthday gifts to our new apartment. Little kid opened package. Thought it was a vibrator he opened, but it turns out it was an Apple Watch that he damaged. I'm just wondering one thing. Why is their 4-year-old kid getting the mail and opening it? Face with tears of joy. Amazon Hub Lockers FTW. PO Boxes be a good friend. You got us in the first half, not gonna lie. How is this a fuck up? You mailed a package to where you live. The landlord is the fuck up for not being responsible for their tenant's property. Them being religious isn't your issue or business. If they're offended by something, that's on them. None of this is a today I fucked up. Where exactly is the FU though? Your landlord's kid stole your package and opened it and it was an Apple Watch they broke. The tracking number would have confirmed what was being sent. So someone would have known it's not the vibrator. Basically the story is the post office left a package addressed to me that someone else stole and opened. I'm more confused by the landlord just putting it back. If it was in that condition, was he just hoping you wouldn't notice? Gosh, I bet the landlord wishes kid had opened the vibrator instead. Door 1 turned out to be a pretty expensive mistake. I know it was a 4-year-old, but opening someone else's mail is postal fraud and a federal crime. I love that they only said they left it on the porch, not that their grimy son had fully opened the box and got into the watch. Young enough to be absolutely sure what the vibrator was. Do you think vibrators are something you grow out of and forget about? When you talked about the packaging, I thought about that image with a box of industrial-strength dildos. I thought I was gonna cringe, but the twist and description of the Apple Watch damage made me cringe even harder than any discovered vibrator would. Dodged the real bullet here by pure incident. Face with tears of joy, Amen. No real foo, though. Kids be kids, otherwise you should be able to be sure your boxes stay private. I assume you're American or something like that. Never figured out why a delivery company would just leave a package in front of someone's door there, especially with your crime rates. Here in Poland you either get your package delivered to your door and have to receive it in person, or to a package locker, where you can retrieve it using a code you got via SMS remotely via an app by scanning a QR code you got in mail within 2 days of delivery, let's say on the walk back from work, school, shopping, when you're no longer busy. What you order in the mail is your business. Don't worry about what your landlord thinks when he finds something that doesn't belong to him. Even if it's embarrassing for you, it's literally none of his business. Yeah, right. Your landlord just got a new Apple Watch, he probably replaced his old one. Now he's gonna say, hey, you could have found one for $50 online, that's all I'm paying. Take the invoice and write on the bottom, landlord, agree to replace this item by date. If he says something like he's gonna take the amount off the rent, get it in writing. I would be beyond fucking furious if a landlord's child opened my mail, let alone damaged the expensive item inside. You guys are taking this a lot better than I would. Ha ha ha, how stressful. It was really decent of them to replace the watch straight away. They seem like nice people. Your landlord is a snoop. Sounds like they are fiscally responsible for the actions of their child. Tell them that you will take the cost of replacement out of your rent payments. You didn't fuck up at all. Those shit parents did. Edit, I anger replied before I got to the end. Glad that they already agreed to replace it. Honestly, I would keep sending stuff to your place, let the kid fuck with it, and make them keep paying the price until they can train the little shit better. Wow. You're lucky the neighbors agreed to replace it. One more argument to not having kids, huh? Damn straight they should replace it, and they should teach their sons some control. Also, the UPS store. Smallest mailbox is $20 a month. You need it. Family like that will be spying on all your business whether they open your mail or not. There's a lot you can tell about someone just from the letters that get delivered. I shipped my pants. If I fumed if I were you and this happened to me, honestly, loudly crying face. The real question is, have you seen your religious neighbor bouncing around with a new spring in her step? Would you generally expect a 4-year-old to be able to open an Apple Watch box? I'm serious, as I haven't ever opened one, but I do know that some tech boxes are quite difficult to open. Something in the landlord's story may be off. That said, good on them for replacing. Your failure to use paragraphs is saved by the TLDR. Our landlords are young enough to be absolutely sure what the vibrator was. Classic Reddit. 22-year-old thinks that their landlords with small children might be young enough to know what a vibrator is. Just how long do you think vibrators have been around? The answer is for 50 to potentially 100 years. Dildos have been excavated from ancient ruins. So wait, so did you get the vibrator, or was there ever a vibrator? Not quite where I thought that was going. At least they're replacing it. A kid say fucking stupid. Not a FU. As a full-grown adult who struggled to open the Apple Watch box without scissors and an act of God, I'm really calling BS. The Amazon packaging alone was tough to get through. Then you have the outer plastic, the envelope thing around all the little boxes, the tab on the watch face box, the watch face box itself that somehow subverts gravity in an effort to stay together, then getting everything out of the little boxes and the plastic wrapping, etc., etc. Either you need to be calling up CPS for negligent parents, or something doesn't add up. Especially with freaking muddy hands. This is infuriating. Why can't these parents teach their children not to touch what isn't theirs? You didn't FU by delivering the package to where you get mail delivered. The parents of that kid FU allowing their kid to touch what isn't theirs. I hope for the child's sake they didn't get off without a reprimand of some sort. Fast forward to yesterday. While on a date I see my boyfriend's jaw drop. Did he lose his jaw in the war or something? Buys apartment, then casually buys the apartment under it as well to rent out as a side gig. truly an even playing field. A TMN